Robert Kraft was not voted for the Hall of Fame class of 2026. This follows up last week's news that former Patriots head coach Bill Belichick was also not selected for entry. How the voting works, for those wondering at home, you have 50 voters. You need 40 of 50 votes. They each get 3 votes for 5 people in the contributor category, which was Kraft, Belichick, Roger Craig, Ken Anderson, L.C. Greenwood, and neither of the Pats got in, Steve.
Well, L.C. Greenwood was a terrific player.
Mm-hmm.
Ken Anderson, in a day where you valued accuracy, because Ken Anderson threw the ball down the field.
Mm-hmm.
If you're completing 70% of your passes and you're throwing the ball downfield and not padding your numbers by dump-offs and flanker screens and things like that, phenomenal. And Roger Craig should have been in a long time ago.
Yes.
There are very few people in the history of the game that in a season had 1,000 yards receiving and 1,000 yards rushing. And Roger Craig also was tremendous in big games. Really was. Now, as for Kraft, you could tell that the committee did not have anybody on there from CBS, NBC, ABC, ESPN, Prime Video, because he's shown every game because he's on the TV committee.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not being a punk here.
No, yeah.
Okay? But why do they always show Jerry Jones and why do they always show Robert Kraft? Because they're on the TV committee.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, where was the Broncos ownership?
We didn't see the Walmart, the Waltons.
Didn't see the Walton family. We saw Joe and Allen run the flag up, the 12. That was her last appearance.
Mm-hmm.
And until the post game. Post game, she had to accept the trophy. But sorry, but I'm sitting at home like, how transparent can you be? Right? If I'm CBS, I need to keep the contract too. Look, Robert Kraft has been a great owner in the league. When they were in trouble with the lockout, and his wife Myra had passed away, I believe. She just passed. Robert Kraft is the one that really brokered the two sides to get them back and playing again, because they could have done incredible damage to the league. He saved the Patriots. They were going to St. Louis. James Ortwine, they were going to St. Louis. They were not going to stay in New England. And he came in there and saved the team. Then when the legislature messed around with him on infrastructure, he threatened to move the team to Hartford, and even had a press conference in Hartford with Governor John Rowland. And at that point, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, it was the House of Representatives. The Speaker of the House was a guy named Tom Finnernan. They finally relented and said, okay, we'll put aside $72 million for infrastructure. In other words, widening Route 1.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody's ever driven on Route 1 around Foxborough,
Lord. It's
bad. It's really bad. And if you go on it now, you're like, oh, it's really bad. It was worse before they put the extra lanes in.
Mm-hmm.
He built the stadium himself. He built Patriots Place himself.
Yeah.
That's his money. He didn't take any money from Foxborough, didn't take any money from the state. He built that himself. He will get into the Hall of Fame. It is our understanding that, based on reporting, that Bill Belichick got 39 out of 50 votes.
Yeah. And it has come out, I know Vahe Gregorian from the Kansas City Star, he put out this article last week after the news broke of Belichick not getting in, saying Bill Belichick belongs in the Hall of Fame, but here's why I didn't vote for him. And he laid out why he voted for Anderson, Craig, and Greenwood.
Right.
And his general thing was, these players, to get to this point, they almost never get back. Like someone like a Roger Craig, who you said, and I agree, should have been in a while ago.
Right.
For them to get in is really difficult.
First of all, I completely understand why he did what he did.
Yeah.
Completely. You're entitled to that. Mm-hmm. You have to change the rules, though.
Yes.
I've got 5 guys there.
Mm-hmm.
If I want to vote for all 5, I can.
Yeah.
If I want to vote for 2, I can. If I want to vote for none, I can.
The strictness of the rules is the issue, and how it is worked today, to where now you have these 5 people who Craig, Anderson, Greenwood, Belichick, and Kraft are all grouped together in the contributor category.
Yes.
And you're asked basically to put them all in one bucket, and then you vote for 3 of them, and if you get 40 votes, you get in. It should be more, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, it should be more like how the MLB Hall of Fame does it, where Cooperstown is, if everyone gets the big old ballot of everything, basically.
Right.
And you vote for as many as you want or as little as you want, and if you get to a number, you're in. It's a percentage.
Right, it's a percentage, but in the ballot, you're allowed to vote for a maximum of 10.
So
in this one, you're allowed to vote for a maximum of 3.
And let's say you're allowed a maximum of 3, but instead of separating them out into contributor and into player and all these things, maybe you find a way to group them together. Like maybe there's some way you could do it, because there's got to be something here. You can't have this go on where Belichick and Kraft should be in. If Jerry Jones is in as an owner, Kraft should be in.
Yeah, of course.
If everyone else to coach is in right now, Belichick should be in. I mean, he's won, 8 Super Bowls? A normal number. And everyone's saying, oh, well, it's Tom Brady's team. Belichick helped build it, and he did build it. And so did Kraft. And so those two, we're going to skip past that part. My point is, they both belong in. So does Craig. So does Greenwood. And so does Anderson. And they're put in a spot where Gregorian was right, where it's like, these guys, to get back to this spot for them is so difficult.
Sure.
And they all should be in.
Yeah.
And so he's like, I'm going to give them my vote. And we don't even know if those 3 got in. They may not have hit the threshold of the 40, votes.
Of 40.
There's a real chance none of them hit it.
Right.
Because of how the voting is done, which is so stupid.
It's interesting, the linkage of Brady. You have to remember that through 5 rounds, 31 teams, because there was only 31 back then, the Texans weren't in yet. 31 teams passed. And finally, in round 6, the Patriots took him. That means Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft took him. Then, when Drew Bledsoe got hurt against the Jets, they put him in. When Bledsoe was ready to come back, it was Belichick who looked around and said, no, we're not making a change. I see something in this guy. The simplistic, pea-brained attitude, and I do mean that, of, well, he only won because of Brady. So Brady picked off the pass in the Seattle Super Bowl? No? Oh, he didn't pick off the pass in that game? In the Rams Super Bowl, Brady had, how many interceptions did Brady get in that game? And they held the Rams to 3 points. Oh, that's right. He doesn't play defense.
Did you know Brady kicked field goals as well?
Kicked field goals, the whole thing. Right. Brady, an absolutely awesome player. But Bill Walsh never won a Super Bowl without Joe Montana. Okay? Simple. You won 3. You didn't. Chuck Noll didn't win a Super Bowl without Terry Bradshaw. Oh, by the way, and a whole list of other guys, including a guy I work with. Bill Walsh, we just talked about Roger Craig. You won with Joe Montana and a whole bunch of other guys. I mean, you keep going through the long list of what coaches have won with, and it just turned out they were together a long time. And Bill Belichick was great for Tom Brady, and Tom Brady was great for Bill Belichick. And to sit there and go, to attempt to be insulting to somebody, well, he didn't win without Brady. It's like, do you know the history of football? Lombardi won 5 championships. He didn't win any without Bart Starr. Okay? Oh, and he also won with Ray Nitschke and Dave Robinson and and Forrest Gregg and Jim Taylor and Paul Hornung, and they're all, I mean, there's a long list of guys. These championship teams all have multiple Hall of Famers all over the place. Willie McGinnis and Ty Law and those guys, they're all in the Hall of Fame. John Hanna, right? Hall of Fame. Come on.
Yeah.
There's just, I mean, it's easy to make comments when you are not a thinker. it's easy to make comments where you're not a thinker.
Yeah.
And there are too many people that make comments that just, like, follow the leader, which means you're not an independent thinker, right? You're just a follower. And, yep, I agree. Yep, you're darn right. Didn't win without Brady. I was like, hey, Brady won in Tampa Bay without him. Okay, great. I thought Montana played really well when he was with the Kansas City Chiefs. They didn't quite get there. Okay. That happens.
Yeah.
But it's that kind of simplistic, can't put two and two together thought process. Thanks for listening to Sports Talk with Steve Jones. Catch the latest from me on the 7 Mountain Sports YouTube page. Find clips of the show on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook by searching up 7 Mountain Sports.